I think the vision that G-Log has, what was a differentiator. They had the same vision we did, which is, you know, you need a system that will manage your logistics globally. You know, no longer are we just U.S.-focused companies.
I'll be able to achieve my return on investment easily within 1 year.
The thing that impressed me particularly about G-Log was the overall flexibility of the product, because we do work differently in different countries. All organizations, you know, do. But with G-Log functionality, we believe we can keep our processes simple.
It's helping us to win new business, in a way protect our renewals and be more competitive there in the marketplace.
It's quite easy to configure. So your go-to-market strategy is you can go to market with it very quickly, get it up and running, get defined processes happening, and see an ROI immediately.
It's really the people as much as the technology. It's really a trust that the people at G-Log, both from the management team down to the technical folks, that they really understand the complexities of some of these business challenges and logistics processes.
A number of the other transportation management systems that were out there tended to be a series of individual modules that were bolted together. The way GC3 was developed, it encompassed the whole supply chain, both domestically and internationally. So it is very flexible, it's very expandable.
If you're managing an operation, what you really want to achieve is you want to know when there's something going wrong. And before it goes wrong, you want to know proactively. So that's how we're approaching, and that's what GC3 provides, because it is tracking your supply chain from way back at the order cycle, when it comes in its raw order, to when it finally gets delivered, and settling that account.
Excel has made a position of using G-Log as our global transportation solution. Excel is in 1,300 locations, 120 countries. So what does it mean for us? It actually means that we're able to take transport information from Asia, move it all the way through into the U.S., and track it basically on the same system.
It's the combination of the brains and the smarts and the business rules together with the data to support all that.
We found it's pretty powerful for our business. For us to walk into a customer's office, sit down in front of his computer, log into our system, right on the internet, without having to load any software and without having to do anything special other than click on the Explorer.
And when I need to fax you something, email you an alert, a notification that there's something wrong with your order, I'll look it up, understand that you're in Italy, you're speaking Italian, and your email is going to show up on your desktop in Italian.
DuPont is you know, in 70 countries. It's got about over 70 businesses, over 1,000 business processes to deal with, regional differences, country differences, and G-Log was the company that seemed to come forward with the right product at the right time, and the right vision.
But what GC3 does, because it's such a global and web-based product, we can expand into Asia quite quickly and aggressively.
One particular customer, we moved 106 million pounds for them in 3 weeks.
So it is very flexible, it's very expandable.
What we've seen with G-Log is actually the ability for us to do so many things simultaneously, dynamically.
In a way, it is a brain, and a brain functions in such a way that it takes a lot of input, sensory inputs of various sorts, processes those, and then creates actions. Very similarly, we take all this input in the way of orders and information in from service providers and customers, process it, and then send instructions out to execute things.
So it's really watching what's going on and anticipating what should be happening. And really by setting up those rules, our end customers only have to deal with the exceptions.
If we've asked them for 1,000 cartons and they only have 900, they'll be able to make that change. But that change will then be visible to the buyer because an alert will be sent to the buyer that this vendor is shipping short. And they don't have to do anything other than validate it and go. They don't have to make a phone call. They don't have to fill out a piece of paper and fax it. They don't have to type an email. It's very clean.
The key for us was to get out into the marketplace identify a product and implement that product quickly. And that implementation, first phase, took us 6 weeks.
We rolled out our first implementation in roughly about 8 weeks.
Savings for us has really been one that's turning into savings for the customer. In the optimization process out there, we've seen upwards to 30% savings.
For DuPont, we are carrying about 115 days of inventory in the company. Each day of that inventory that we can eliminate is worth about $25 million cash to the company.
Generally, through freight optimization, about a 10 to 17% reduction in freight spend.
And it's enabling practices where before it relied on telephones, it relied on people going in and looking at things, people finding out 10 times after the fact of when it's really occurred. And what happens in the background of all this, you actually shrink your lead time in your supply chain while all this is happening.
You can't afford to throw people at a problem. As you're beginning to source goods from a larger base of vendors, as you're beginning to distribute and manufacture goods, again, around the world, you're adding some complexity to the process, and the only way to cost effectively and efficiently address that is via technology.
Many of our customers will go in and tell you all about the ROI and the dollar savings that happen with the brains figuring out the optimal solution. At the same time, there's a huge savings in labor and productivity costs because our system is really automating and handling a lot of the workload.
You've got to look at the people who are taking up the product. The people who are taking up the product are the visionaries in their marketplace. They are absolute market leaders dealing with a technology company who also have an extremely good vision. You combine those two forces together, and where we can take it going forward, it really is endless.